I'm sorry about this. This is like kind of happened like old school. Like I was going through a time period where I didn't have any of these errors. But hey, it's okay. I still love to broadcast it, no problem. That layer is about 2/3 of the way done here, and a couple more links are on the way right now. And oh my goodness, this looks. I wanna say. This is, like, strangely familiar. Oh, but here we go. There's going to be a lot of lings against these Zealots here, but Zealots are getting a pretty good, nice positioning here. And keep in mind, these lings cannot phase through these Zealots like drones can to start trying to drill away. But they left up their positioning here, which I'm kind of questioning why he did that. But now we're going to be seeing NewbCrack be getting out of that contain right there. And now pretty much Hex is on the back foot, losing all those Zealots right there. Not really being that great right here. He's going to be continuing putting on more cannons. I was wondering if that was actually going to stop the positioning on the Nexus. I don't think it will, but it actually might. I'm not quite sure. But now we're going to kind of push onto Topaz here. But will it be enough, though? There are 2 Suns there to try to stall for much time here. And that's actually a nice little Sim City going right there. Not really allowing those links to get by. And that's got a beautiful positioning coming out of Topaz there to really deal with that. But now we're going to have a couple Zealots here, which may change it quite drastically here, because they're going to be able to start target firing. Here come the drones. Here we go. Are they going to be able to start drilling effectively here? One Slug is getting, you know, getting dangerously low on HP here. Lings are going to try to help here and help going to help reinforce this push coming out of the Wallace here, and it looks like we might be seeing a repeat, maybe, because now Overdose is doing a pretty good number on Topaz here, and now Topaz is taking a lot more hits than what he'd like to, because now there's Zealots, and there's going to be links here, and continuing to reinforce his attack here, and Zealots are going to try to kill off reinforcing, but oh my goodness, so many drones have fallen, and oh my goodness gracious, I think Hexa might have lost. I think Black Dragons may have lost this game. I think the Spire's being completely decimated here. Unless we're going to be seeing, you know, something quirky like we saw last game, where, you know, maybe Black Dragons can come back from losing their ally, but it's very difficult, like we saw in game 1. And that's it. Once, I mean, that lair is going to be taken down. He doesn't even have enough for a drone. And oh my god, I love that color on the Dragoons. That looks so nasty. But, I mean, what can Hexa do at this point in time? He has 4-gate, he's going 4-gate Goon, which, against Mass Sling, doesn't do that well, to be completely honest. And against Zealot. Like, or Zealot Dragoon. Like, that he's going the wrong unit comp. What he's going in. Like, that's, like, not the right unit composition. And I don't see how Hexa can hold on for super long here. I mean, Overdose, it just has the complete counter to what Mass. I mean, yeah, he can try to kite all day, but I mean, when charge is done, which I'm assuming he's eventually gonna start pushing that out. Oh no, he's getting his own Dragoons, I guess. But if he was to get his own charge, Speedlings are gonna completely, without Zealot support, these Dragoons are really worthless here. But he's gonna be attacking Wallace here. I am GG. Topaz. I have no mineral. Yeah, I know he doesn't have enough minerals here. I don't know. Like, here comes the push here. Let me pause this game so I can actually not have freezing. Excuse me. Didn't actually mean to freeze it like that. But that is a lot of Zealots, though. And if he can get Lings to come and from the west side over here to help corner that in, it's gonna be really great. One Dragoon has fallen so far, and he's gonna try to push up a ramp here, which is just not gonna work here. He has taken his expand though, which is the benefit that what Black Dragons didn't do last game. But now we're seeing 3 Dragoons, and this Dragoon army slowly getting pushed back here. Lings are finally coming from the west side, which is gonna do so much damage. Not gonna allow them to kite nearly as effectively here, and I don't see how. Pretty much how Hexa is going to be able to hold this off right here. He'll be going back down to the south through his base here, but Dragoons are getting picked off right here. And oh my gosh, I love the color on Hexa's Dragoons here, but one getting cornered again. And nice using the links just pretty much UI block that. But he does have 4 cannons here, which is just going to be used as a block here. He has a robo facility up and running here, and he's getting up his Nexus, and it is done. But that's going to be a lot of stuff, though. But why is Wallace engaging these 4 cannons? Does he have enough, though? I don't think he will. I think he might just fought it. No, but there's more links to help reinforce this, though. So I think it might be GG. We're just waiting for it to happen. And oh my goodness, what will happen of this series? Will it become 2-0? And fuck you, Topaz. Go re. Okay. But, and I quote, fuck you, re. I didn't say that, but it was quoted. Okay, so, first tip of the game here. So, pretty much what we saw is Overdosed winning that series. Pretty much won the series. That's the only way I can see how it actually worked out. Because Hexa not the greatest. We just saw Hexa get pretty much decimated. Pretty much what we saw here. Nothing that really was. I love the way Hexa played. The only one thing I could pinpoint on his play style that I may not like. I mean, there could have been. Well, actually, when I think about it, there's two things that he probably could have improved on. Now, they're minimal things, and I don't think it was necessarily his fault that he lost this game. A lot of the time, 2v2 comes down to the builds that are executed against the other player, of the other team. But we saw he went for a 2-gate, blah, blah, set up a contain, blah, 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 blah. But he lost those 6 zealots, which he didn't need to lose, number 1. Number 2, he went 4-gate Goon, which isn't a bad unit comp, but when it's a bad unit comp to, I'm trying to say it's not a bad unit composition altogether, but it's a bad unit comp when your opponent's going massling, and your opponent has a decent amount of zealots and getting their own dragoons. So, pretty much Lings can stop the kiting happening, zealots can close in, dragoons in the back do more DPS. And it's 2-on-1. So, I mean, like, that's enough to pretty much say that it was 2-on-1 enough. It's just a big enough issue that Hexa probably should have realized. He probably should have just GG out when Topaz got knocked out. But that's okay. And then, I think that I do love about Wallace's play, though, is that he did take that expand behind his aggression, though. That was something he had going for him. He may have overextended himself, but he got that expand up, which was important to note. He did get that expand up. Sometimes players choose the wrong time to put down the expand. Sometimes it's just impossible to get the expand down because you're too far behind in the game. But, and then the only thing I say to Topaz, you were teching up to Mutalisks, and in a map like this, when you had such far away spawns, this isn't your fault either. It was just the builds that you guys win. Maybe it was your team's fault for trying to go these builds then on cross positions, because it's going to be hard to do a 2v2 build on this. It's pretty much whoever rushes the first wins, but in a way, in my opinion, for this just positioning, because it's so hard to reinforce. Like, it's literally cross position running. It's probably like 2 reacting on this map cross positions. Like, how is that going to go for you? Not too well. But anyway, what we saw is that you were taking up to Spire Tech, so you didn't have nearly as many Lings as you did in the first game, while the Protoss was doing his own checking up and what have you. So you had a good Sim City, but there was just too much stuff. They just gang tacked you, and Hexa was nowhere to be found. He was teching up his own self, or he was setting up the contain. Or no, what happened was he lost all of his units trying to contain. So I think going back, the only thing you probably could have done is if Hexa put his zealots in your own main base, which would just solve for that much more time for the Sun to do that much damage. You could get the Spire out that much quicker, get your Mutas out, harass like anything else you wanted to, and the game could have looked a lot more different. Otherwise, well played. Now this is the thing though. There is VOD number 3. So we now have acknowledged Overdose has won this series. Keep in mind, but that's not to say that they can't win gate number 3, because that can happen. Actually, no, it can't. But so Black Dragons will win the next game. But I won't spoil that much for you, but yeah, like, I'm just putting that out there to you guys. Okay, thanks guys for watching, and have a nice day. Peace. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to CLaW TV. Now, if you guys are a 2v2 fan, you guys are going to like this series because it is a 2v2. Now, our replay comes to us from the 28th of April in 2012, and this origin of the replay is obviously from the 28th of April, but also from iCup Clan League Season 20, Week number 3, Division B1 or Division B2 between Black Dragons and Overdose. This is Series number 1, Game number 2. And Overdose did successfully win Game number 1. And now, positions on Python. We're going to be seeing I believe now, let's see, this is Topaz. Just want to make sure. Okay, Topaz is the purple Zerg. Now, weirdly, this is Hexa, like, of what I understand. Now, please, guys, like, I hate pausing in the middle of a VOD, especially, but, like, look at the colors. Like, that like, stupid yellow color, the stupid, like, skin color, and the stupid white color. They all look the same on the map. They all look the same to me, like, together. I don't know why, if I'm colorblind or whatever. It took me literally 5 minutes to figure this out, so I believe this is Wallace. I mean, yeah. I believe this is Wallace. No, I'm sorry. I believe this is Hexa right here. This should be Hexa. So you have like so what we guess we could say is black dragons are in the north and south of positions, and overdoses on the east and west. Now spawning in the east, it will be the Zerg. The Zerg, it will be NewbCrack. And spawning in the east, it will be, sorry if that was, did I say the west or east? That was the west. Spawning in the east, it will be Wallace. So now Python, I like this map better than Fighting Spirit for 2v2 because most of the time both players are spawning on either the north or south positions of the map, meaning that a team would either spawn at the 1 o'clock and at the 3 o'clock, which are these positions, or they're spawning at the like 7 and 9 o'clock, which are these positions. But now we're really like quirky. Like, how do you help out your opponent? Like, it's like cross positions. How do you help them out? Like, you just don't. I'm sorry for screaming, but you like legitimately don't. So I'm guessing we'd see super like aggressive style, and you know, this map is still pretty big here, but yeah, I don't know. Actually, let's actually figure this out. Bd.TOpaZ. Let's actually go figure out who his opponent is. Yeah, yep. This is his ally, and I do not agree with this position. 2v2 in Brood War makes no sense. Like, legitimately speaking, like, I know, like, guys, if you guys weren't tuning in the live stream the other day, which I rarely live stream, so don't feel bad, and I'm actually gonna be recasting games I casted, but what I wanted to, what I pointed out there is that I joined Brood War scene when StarCraft 2 came out because I saw the big hype, and I still remember Brood War, and I always loved Brood War. I just never knew about the pro scene. I don't know how wacky that is. I played it for many years. I just never knew about the pro scene or anything, or about esports, and then I obviously came and fell in love with it. But the fact of the matter is, like, I didn't know anything about it, and yeah, so I didn't know anything. So I played StarCraft 2, obviously, for quite some time. I know of that, and I know 2v2 before on that. Ooh, we actually got a gas steal. But what I wanted to just point out, though, is that 2v2 in StarCraft 2, like, you have, like, positions make sense. Like, you're not going to be, like, cross positions like in Brood War. Like, it's kind of weird like that. But actually getting play-by-play here, if I could actually figure this out. Wallace. Let's go into Wallace. Let's see what Wallace is. Wallace is going... No, Wallace is this Protoss. Wallace is going for a 2-gate opening, probably putting down his 3rd gateway right about now, which is... So we're seeing identical build coming out of Wallace this time. Now, ooh, we're going to have a Ling Aggression coming out of Topaz here now. Is it going to do enough damage? It's going to come down to the sunken positioning. If you put an Evo Chamber here, that might get a little bit more difficult. Taking out the links to surround this. How about the sunken right here? But we're just kind of seeing actually really identical what happened in the first game. Hexa actually did set up a contain before, but Hexa got counter pushed right here. So he's very susceptible to any kind of a pressure here, and it's going to look kind of bad to deal with. Oh, but these Zealots are going to be completely caught out of position here. Will they be able to do enough though? No, they will get completely surrounded by Topaz right here, and that's just not good for Wallace. You just lost 8 supply worth of Zealots right there. Could maybe even lose more potentially if they're doing too much. Hexa might be he wants to be going lair. So actually, we're gonna be seeing Topaz going for not a super link. Actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. He might be going. Well, you could go 2nd hatch rate, which is fine, but definitely putting down that 3rd hatch was definitely like an indication that he was going mass ling. But I just give the favored right now to Black Dragons because they have the map control. Now the Zerg is teching up. I mean, I try to draw to conclusions as possible as I can, but I guess here we're going to be seeing the Zerg teching up to, I mean, not super far. I mean, it's still 1 basing, but one basing to Spire Tech, which could prove to be really annoying. Oh, but he did get a couple lings in Wallace's base here, which is just going to be a pretty big nuisance to deal with, you know, considering the fact that lings are super annoying to deal with. And if my computer wasn't really crappy, I wish it really wasn't. I really don't know why my computer does this. I'll just need to pause this game real quick.